Writing Power BI commentary can take longer than building the report. So here's how I get Claude to do it. No crazy Microsoft licenses required. Now, if we haven't met yet, I'm Mike. I'm a senior finance leader, and over the last decade, I've helped automate more than 150,000 hours out of finance processes. But today, it's one specific thing: getting great commentary from Power BI. How to write your prompt so Claude produces actual useful variance commentary, the kind with real numbers and real drivers, instead of generic sentences that say nothing. And before we get started, if you want the prompt, templates, and skills that I use in this and all my other videos, then click the link down in the description to get access to my entire AI library. I'll also send you my free weekly newsletter, Finance AI Insider, packed with tips, tricks, and hacks just like this. So click the link in the description to get started. Here's what commentary usually looks like when finance pros first try to use AI for it. They paste in a table, ask for commentary on these numbers, and get back something like labor costs were higher than budget, which may be due to staffing factors. That's completely useless. You knew labor was up, you needed to know by how much and why. The problem is the prompt didn't have enough information. Claude isn't looking at your report. You're giving it data with no context about what matters, what format you need, or how specific to be. Fix the prompt and the output changes completely. What Claude needs to write good variance commentary is three things: the actual numbers, the context for the business, and clear instructions on format and specificity. So let me show you how I structure it. Now, for all of our examples, we're going to be working with three files. The first one is going to be what you see here, which is the P&L data for our coffee shop. All of our data is from January to June 2023. This is what's built into the dashboard already. This is linked directly to the dashboard, and we've got different accounts: revenue, cost of goods, actuals, budget, the usual. Our next data set is our point of sale data. So this is, again, also connected directly to the file right now. This has all of our transaction data. You can see our quantities. You can see the different store locations. So a little bit of a more operational level of detail, that's going to be in there. And then our third file, we'll use this in our second step when we actually work on the commentary. But this is a summary of different notes that the managers of the locations have sent us. It's not commentary on the financials, it's just commentary on some things that happened and some background context. Again, we'll use that in a little bit. So we'll go ahead, we'll come down here, we'll dictate it because we got a few things to tell it. Act as a financial analyst. I need your help writing commentary for the F9 Finance Coffee Shop's June 2023 performance. I want to compare both to the prior month and to budget. Inside the folder, you will find a file of F9 Finance Coffee Shop commentary from June 2023. These are comments provided by the location managers and will provide you additional context for the work you need to do. Analyze the Power BI datasets, review the charts, and then create an Excel file in the same folder as the Power BI dashboard and commentary file where you can store all of the commentary. I want you to create one table in the Excel file for point of sale commentary and one table for profit and loss or general ledger commentary. In a future step, I'm going to ask you to run this commentary into a visual inside the Power BI dashboard, so make sure it's clean and neatly organized. So again, a little bit more of a prompt there. We're giving the tool a job, saying I want you to be a financial analyst. We're letting it know what we need to do. We're writing commentary for the F9 Finance Coffee Shops. We're letting it know we want to look both sequentially at the prior month, and also we want to look at our actual versus budget. We want to look separately at point of sale, and we want to look separately at our general ledger and profit and loss data. We want to look at the location level variances that have been provided by all of our different managers, and we want this to be clean and orderly because this file is going to feed into the Power BI dashboard as we get to step 3. So with all that framed up, we're going to go ahead and send this off. Now, building this file for the first time, this could take a little while, 5-10 minutes. As you rerun this process, on future runs, you're going to have all this information cataloged. The model is going to be in the context and the memory of this chat. You're going to have the information a lot more structured, and Power BI will be able to run this in 1 or 2 minutes instead of this amount of time. So you see Claude has gone out, it's found and inspected the files. So it's saying it has the P&L source file, it's got the manager commentary file and qualitative notes, and the point of sale has the full transaction detail, all of this modeled inside Power BI, and now it's going to build the analysis for us. So as usual, Claude's making a liar out of me. I said that would take longer, take 5 to 10 minutes. That actually took about 3 minutes to do the entire first pass of it. You'll see what we've got here is we have key findings, revenue, all stores were above budget. We've got cost of sales, labor, rent, point of sale. Big surprise, coffee's at the top category of every location. It's flagged one thing, the story manager talking about revenue softening slightly, but that doesn't really match the revenue. It's interesting that those messages don't align between the numbers and what the manager's seeing. That's something we'll definitely want to follow up on. But before we move on to the next step, let's go look at the commentary file that's been prepared. So if I come over to our Claude Code Power BI folder where we're working, we're going to see the coffee shop analyst commentary file right here. This was our original file that I showed you, and this is our new file that's been generated by Claude Code. We'll go ahead and pop that open. All right, and here's our commentary. And looking at this high level, this is even cooler than I was expecting. It didn't just give us commentary. It also gave us the financials that support that commentary. So here's each P&L line item for Astoria, repeated for Hell's Kitchen, and then a comment on each of that. It's really cool. That's actually a really nice level of detail. We've got that for all 3 locations. That is cool. And then we've got our point of sale commentary here, one for each location. Again, it pulled in the relevant data and commented on it. How cool is that? Also notice that the manager notes are pulled right in here where there was a relevant manager note to talk about. And just like we asked, this is nicely organized in tables and it's organized on 2 separate tabs. Now, let me show you 2 variations on that prompt that I use depending on the audience. The first one is going to be an executive summary format because sometimes bullets aren't what you need. If you're dropping commentary into an exec deck or an email to the CFO, you want a short paragraph per location, not an entire row of bullets. Change one line in the output instructions and you get it. It's the same data, the same prompt structure, but a different output format. So now back in Claude Code, let's go ahead and have it help us bring the commentary up to a much higher level so this can be used by senior executives. Fantastic work on the commentary. I just want to think about this being higher level because this dashboard is for a CFO. I want one really tight, solid paragraph for each location explaining the story of what happened for each location. Going account by account is just too much information for a senior executive audience. All right, so we've got our prompted. We'll go ahead and send this off and we're going to start tweaking that commentary to get it right where we want it. All right, Claude has acknowledged that the CFO needs the story, not the line items. It's rolling it up and then it's going to tighten it and give the freed space back to the charts. So we didn't even ask it to adjust the spacing, but it's going to tighten everything up, give the charts more space. It's taking it to the next level and thinking about what we really need done, just not the one specific task we gave it, and that's really cool. Claude's already created the new commentary. Now it's connecting to desktop and it's going to write the changes for us. All right, and here's our updated commentary. So it came back, you remember we had all of those different line items before. We had one comment for every account. Now we've got this one really tight paragraph for each location. So it did exactly what we asked to. Shouldn't be any changes over here. Yeah, these were already one per location. So this has been tightened up and it's down to a little bit more story. So you see, instead of saying manager says, now it says one discrepancy worth a follow-up, and it's being a little bit more storytelling and a little bit cleaner. So that's looking more like what we want. Now, the last thing I'm noticing is that if I come down here, it's saying this is $3,000 over budget. So there's some smaller numbers still in here, and I think we can tighten that up a little bit. So let's raise that up to a higher level. We're going to come back to Claude one more time. Really great job. We are almost there. The last change I need is to add a materiality threshold. The CFO does not need to be made aware of anything under $10,000 of variance. All right, so we're not asking it to change the whole formatting and structure. This is just going to be a little bit to tighten up the commentary itself. We'll send that away and we'll let Claude do his magic. So Claude's gone through, it's finding examples of where the commentary is falling below the $10,000 threshold, needs to pull those out. Labor, rent, a couple of marketing items for Astoria. So it's going to build those all out. It's just going to tighten this up, make it really clean, but just to show you how you can go through and reiterate the commentary, you don't just have to take it the first time. And this is how you really get to commentary that drives results and gets you out of doing this process every single month. And here is the new commentary tightened up even more. So if we look over those comments we saw before, the smaller ones about $3,000 all gone. Everything has been completely built. Looks like the lowest number I see on here is $11,000, just like we were looking for. And again, that's how you reiterate commentary. That's how you reiterate your process. Now you're in so much better shape. You're 90% of the way there before you ever even touch the file. How cool is that? Again, we took the same 3 locations, the same data, but the output only covers the variances that actually matter. The prompt is the part most people skip past. Once you've written for your data and your output format, running it is fast. The 30-second part is the runtime. Building the right prompt the first time takes a bit longer, but you build it once. Now, if this was useful, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. I put out new automation content every week and I don't want you to miss a thing. And if you want to see the full pipeline, pulling data from your Power BI report and writing the commentary back to your dashboard automatically, I have a longer video exactly on that. It's linked right up here. You definitely don't want to miss it. I'll catch you over there. Until then, this is Mike signing off from F9 Finance. Cheers.